Hey guys, Jason here from Atlantic Knives. Today I have a little bit different video. We are going to be building a custom Yojimbo II. So we're starting with a brand new Yojimbo II model number C85 GP-BBK, as well as a set of Raindrop Carbon Fiber Flytanium Scales. These things are going to look amazing on this knife. So this is our project for this afternoon. So for any of you who haven't seen the Yojimbo II, this is the all blacked out model. This is how they come standard. Very snappy out of the box. Love the rear compression locks on these, very smooth. Really like the Yojimbo II. So we're gonna strip this one apart and see if we can't make it look a little nicer. So first things first, we're just gonna take the whole thing apart. And this is where you're going to find out whether you have any screws that are going to give you any issues or not. This one's a brand new knife, so hopefully it comes apart nice and easy. We have no stubborn screws. However, that's not always the case. We'll address that if we get to one. So far, so good. So I've removed all the body screws and the pivot screw. I'll peel off my first plate. There's your liner with your lock. Blade, and then we have to remove these screws as well as your pocket clip. Now, what you'll find is sometimes when you go to turn your last screw, it just wants to turn your standoffs. So you may need a set of pliers with you as well to grip your standoff while you unscrew your screws. Another little tip I'll recommend is if you're ever worried about scratching your standoffs or your screws, you can take a little bit of heat shrink and put it over each side of your pliers, shrink it down tight, and it gives you a little rubbery surface to grip with. Great idea for a set of pliers. I don't have mine with me today, but I do have another pair that I've made and customed like that for doing exactly this. Just 1 minute, guys. I got one that's a little bit stubborn here. Just needed to grip it a little bit tighter. Get it out. Generally, I have a little mat with an egg crate to put my screws in. For today, I'm just setting them aside. As well, don't lose your washer or bend your little washers. Very important for the smooth operation of your knife. This is the bronze washer here. Sydney's with me today helping. So that's the odd questions you'll hear in the background. Sydney is sitting here with me today, helping me make some videos. A little bit Now, I just want to make sure I don't bend my washer or scratch my barrel. I want to gently grip it and take out the last pivot screw. One more second. This one's going to be a little stubborn too. Like I said, you're always going to get a couple that have some really stubborn screws in them. Just don't force anything, take your time, and it should all come apart very easily. Just 1 minute, guys, I gotta run and grab another screwdriver. Apparently I was not as prepared as I thought.
While we are waiting, I'll give you some background noise.
You do our elevator music, right?
Yep.
Alright. We're back. Just 1 minute, I just had to get a little flat screwdriver here to pop off my liner. And I'll show you guys where we're at. So this one you do have to take off the pocket clip. That's what's holding the actual last part of the liner inside. So as you'll notice, it does grip the liner there. So on this one you do have to remove the pocket clip. Which is generally probably the easiest thing to remove. Also have my trusty Benchmade tool with me today, so we're going to use that to take off the last 3 screws. All right, there's our pocket clip off. Now our liner should fall right out. It's kind of good. Our pivot is actually stuck to our liner, which is good on this side, as well as keeping the clip there. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer this to our new Flytanium scales. So these are the scales by Flytanium. They are done in Raindrop Carbon Fiber. Really like the looks and feel of these. I think they're going to look beautiful on this knife. We're going to start with the back liner, just because it's still got everything attached. Slides in nicely, no movement. Flip it over and we'll put our pocket clip on first to hold it in place, and then we'll go ahead and start putting it back together. And when I'm putting my knives together, guys, when I put the screws back in, I generally put them all finger tight and get them all in, and then slowly go around and tighten them as I need it to. Just makes for your knife to fit together properly, and generally make sure everything is lined up 100% before I tighten everything all down tight. All right, so we've got a pocket clip reattached. As you'll notice, I'm going around tightening each screw a little bit tighter until I get them all snug down the way they should be. There's your pocket clip back on and your liner back into the new scale. Next, we're going to put our blade back, making sure it slides back in place, not to bend our washer. Then I'm going to look, actually before I put the blade back on, I'm going to back up here. We're going to put a couple of our standoffs back in place. All right, there's one, and let's see if we can get the other one back on here. Generally what I do is I put my screw in, and I'll just turn my barrel spacer on until it is a little bit tight, hold it from the other side and screw it on. There, we've got our 3 back spacers back in spot. Now we'll put our blade back on, make sure it's lined up properly, and then we're going to look at getting the rest of our knife put back together. So lined up our pivot. What I'm going to do as well is, oh, that is not the right one. Make sure we get our carbon fiber one. We're going to put this thing on. Its place. Make sure it's all snapped down and nice and tight where it needs to go. So the very first screw I'm going to put in is the pivot screw because it will hold the lock bar in place. And again, I'm just going to screw it down till it's snug. I'm not going to tighten it all the way down. Then I'm going to go around and put our backside in. And we're going to go to our body screws. And we got 3 left on this side. One thing you want to do is make sure you have all your screws lined up nice and square before you start trying to force anything down. If something doesn't tighten in right, if something doesn't feel right, take your time, don't force it. You may not have the right one. And 1 screw left. Then I'll go around and tighten them all up. Make sure I got them all where I need them to be. Check my pivot. All right. So this is the Yojimbo II with the new Raindrop Carbon Fiber Scales. All installed, very smooth, very clean. What an amazing looking knife. Love the new scales. Hope everyone enjoyed the video.
Bye, guys.
Have a great day.